This is the moment that Detroit SWAT took down two Detroit gangs called Omerta Boyz and Purple Heart. Plus, they also have ties with 30 Boyz / TMC. These guys are responsible for multiple murders around Detroit and drug activity. Located on the southwest side of Detroit, they was indicted and convicted for a shooting for revenge of a 5-year-old girl getting permanently disabled. On June 21st, 2016, Martez Bailey, 24 years of age, plus Khalid Wilson, 25 years of age, drove to Baltimore Street in Detroit and fired repeatedly into a house, hoping to kill two rival gang members. Bailey fired a .45 caliber handgun repeatedly, while Wilson unloaded a Uzi with an extended magazine capable of holding 50 rounds. A woman in the house who was unrelated to the gangs was severely injured. The attempted murder stemmed from a dispute with two rival gangs, one called Trust No One, TNO, and one called Too Much Cash, TMC.
Rob niggas, bro. You feel me?
You ain't shaking.
I don't do that.
You 50-50 with this shit. We all the way in.
We all the way in, man.
Listen,
Taking
bro.
niggas in, under, and above, man. You gotta know
bro,
that.
Listen, Meal.
We might see a nigga like you and strip you just because, like.
Which this beef stemmed majority from jealousy over credit card fraud, plus an earlier shooting from bad gang members that left a 5-year-old girl permanently disabled. Detroit has many other gang beefs that we can get into in another video, but Detroit's murder rate has been on a steady decline since the 80s, with murders peaking at 686 in 1987. But in 2006, Detroit seen a total of 421 murders. And in 2022, Detroit seen a total of 309 murders. But back in the 80s, gangs like Black Mafia family ran Detroit streets, using hidden compartments in Lincoln limousines used to transport cocaine and heavy loads of money. These guys were smart, pushing cocaine all throughout the streets of Detroit, all up until October 2005. 30 members of BMS was arrested in a mass raid. The DEA recovered $3 million in cash, 2.5 kilos of cocaine, and numerous weapons. A guy of the name of Demetrius Flenory, aka Big Meech, was the leader. The east side versus the west side of Detroit is usually a debate of which one is better, as the two has numerous blocks along the streets of Joy Road and Mack Avenue. The west side might seem to be more upkept, to where as though some might think the east might be more grimy appeal. Plus, the east might seem to some to be more active, whereas though the west might seem to be more laid back, flashy, and breed more hustlers. But those are just opinions though. Each side has the same features with little differences. The southwest side of Detroit is home to many Latinos, plus has its black communities too. And the city of Detroit as a whole has been losing residents year by year. Much of the city's once black community has relocated 8 miles across the suburbs of Oakland County. And as you can probably see when you drive through Detroit, while the population is decreasing, the number of vacant homes is increasing. But now let's get to the deadliest weekend in Detroit's history, where over 12 people were shot and at least 7 people was killed. This violence all started on July 29th, 2022, where a triple shooting would break out, killing a well-known college football player. It was a Friday night in Detroit around 11 p.m. on the city's west side when a car drove down Stopell Street and someone inside started shooting. Police says 2 people were inside a black truck when another vehicle approached and fired shots, but the one that was walking, Aquan Cobb, was shot dead, and it was unsure if he was even the target for the shooting. The loss of a student athlete is always impactful, but the loss of Aquan Cobb to a tragic and senseless act of gun violence is heartbreaking to our football team. Aquan Cobb was only 21 years of age and played for Denverport University. Then it would be July 30th when a fist fight would turn into a gunfight and leave 1 dead. It was 1 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon when Detroit police were dispatched to a home in the 1200 block of Wisconsin on Detroit's west side after they received a call of shots fired. Police say when they arrived, the incident appeared to be domestic dispute between the residents of the home and someone inside who they had a child with. The woman left and returned with her 2 brothers, and there was an argument between them. When the 2 brothers opened fire, 2 were shot and 1 ended up dying. Unsure if the baby father died or one of the brothers died, but the news reports did not go into detail about this. nor could I find pictures of the victims of the situation. But this next situation would be tragic because 8 people will be shot. Detroit police said a suspect who was upset about his neighbor blocking his driveway shot 8 people, which is really crazy. An anonymous neighbor said the shooter came out of his house and started shooting across the street, firing close to 30 to 40 rounds. Out of the 8 people shot, 2 of them was left dead and 6 were left in critical condition. According to police, the shooter was mad about someone blocking his driveway. First he fired into the air and went back inside and came back out and fired more shots. Andre Willis Jr. and Toyoki Willis were both of the ones that died. When police searched the suspect's house, they recovered 11 guns that were strategically placed throughout the home. Then on the same day at around 6:30 p.m., a teenage boy was killed in a drive-by shooting near a large freeway. The police found him in a street near 14th and Lawrence. Witnesses told police they heard gunshots and someone shooting from a black SUV. Again, I couldn't find any other information on this victim or a picture, but it would be the same day where 2 teen girls were shot during a party. It was that Sunday night where 2 14-year-old girls was at a party when an SUV drove past and fired shots near Penrod and Joy Road. One girl was shot in the foot and was labeled in stable condition, but the other girl was shot 3 times in the back, side, and arm. Their names is Kyra Davis and Ariana Payton. Kyra's mother says she snuck away from home that night before the shooting. It was a blessing that both of them made it out of the shooting alive. Doctors said it was literally a hair away from Ariana's spine that would have left her paralyzed for life.
In Detroit, these 2 girls know each other, they're friends, and had a chance to hang out a bit today after one of them got out of surgery. They both, I'm told, are expected to recover, and they are incredibly grateful for it. And Jacqueline De La Garza are counting their blessings.
Okay. We're okay. We're okay. The girls are okay.
Their daughters, Kiara Davis and Ariana Patton, were shot at a party on Joy Road in Penrod Sunday night.
This is all these kids linking up on Instagram and just coming to a spot, and they chose to come to Joy Road.
And I told her, I was like, I highly doubt that your mother, being you, a young girl, kicked you out at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, you can stay here tonight and we'll handle it in the morning. I had woke up the following day and her and my daughter were both already gone.
This next victim though died in a pretty unusual way. The weekend may have been over, but the violence didn't end. Detroit police found a victim that was trapped under a car after being shot and crashed into a house. According to the police, the victim was found trapped between a car and a porch on Griner Street. There was nobody inside the car, and neighbors said they heard multiple gunshots prior to the car crashing into the porch. That would mark the 7th person that died from gun violence over the weekend. But let's take a quick dive into Michigan's gun laws, which are not that strict surprisingly, because it is legal for a person to carry a firearm in public as long as the person is carrying a firearm with lawful intent and the firearm is not concealed. It is legal because there is no Michigan law that prohibits it, but in a lot of areas in Michigan, firearms aren't allowed at most public places. And the crazy thing is that brandishing a firearm will only land you in jail for 90 days as a misdemeanor. It is only when you carry a gun concealed or transported in a vehicle when it turns into a felony. So these weak gun laws doesn't provide any discipline to these criminals, encouraging people to carry their gun without any consequences. But that'll be about it for this video. Make sure you like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what y'all want to see next. And as always, stay blessed and stay well. Yeah, I'm out.